This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to GameHounds, episode 269. We are recording on July 2nd, 2014.
To what?
269.
Giggity.
And you know what? That's what I named the show before I even went on. GameHounds 269, Giggity. Because I knew that was the first thing.
You know him better than he knows himself.
That's my job. I'm a host. That's what I do. I'm an enabler. So anyway, episode 269. Hello. Episode again, thank you. And July 2nd, 4th of July, just in a couple of days.
Yeah. And for the first time, I got to say that I know it's an audio show and none of you guys can see us, but for the first time since the three of us have been doing the show, we are all naked broadcasting today.
We are not.
It is unbelievable. I mean, me,
yourself.
I usually go commando, I like how it feels on the chair. When Nick gets real quiet, he's podcasting naked. The whole fun hand thing with Nick. When he's real quiet, he's not surfing.
Goalie, none of us are naked.
He likes to let the girls out.
None of us are naked. Stop it. Just stop. You're just lying.
Theater of the mind.
No, that's not theater of the mind. That's porn theater of the mind. No.
It's still a theater. It's just like, a dollar theater. You
was
put it in, the curtain will come up, and you'll watch us podcast.
A pastry shop the other day, and I was like, oh, man, Danish porn.
So, games that we've played. By the way, are you guys doing anything interesting for 4th of July other than watching your dogs freak out and hang onto the bed?
Yeah, I mean, like, anything besides sleeping because dogs are barking every half hour because they heard a firecracker 18 hours ago.
We're taking our dogs up Buddy's first camping trip. We are leaving today. In fact, made a point of actually squeezing this show in because as soon as I'm done here, we're going out to the RV and we're leaving. So if you don't see this show up on the regular feed until early next week, that's why. It's because we literally left and went to the desert.
Okay. Wait, you're camping in the desert?
Well,
you
got a
don't
problem?
Camp in the desert. You survive in the desert. You camp in the wilderness.
You survive in the desert if you don't bring an RV and a shower and an air conditioner and steaks and a barbecue, which is what we're doing.
I don't know. That still doesn't seem like camping.
It's camping.
The desert is not someplace you camp.
Sure.
No.
Like, do you pitch a tent and...
No, we bring our RV. And there's nobody around us, and then we set off fireworks. In fact, fireworks are illegal this year. So they made a new rule in the county where we're going. So you can't get fireworks. It used to be that you would just, on the way in, you'd stop at the Indian reservation and, spend $1,000 and just get these, like, essentially military shells. And you could fire them off legally. Now they've changed the rules, so you can't do that. So we're bringing up model rocket, Estes rocket, model rocket engines. And we're going to attach those to the drones, fly them up, and then fire them off and see what it does to the drones.
Cool.
Nice. You should come over here. It's a desert over here. It's like 90 degrees out here. Actually, I just went for a 5-mile walk. I just come out of the shower now. That's why I'm naked, because I'm so freaking hot from the 5-mile walk.
Yeah, I hate hot days in the East Coast. You guys, I mean, we get hot days, but they're nothing like yours because you have all that humidity. Speaking of humidity, oh my God, World Cup. Holy crap, I can't believe that people exist in that heat, much less play a game in that kind of heat. 86 degrees feels like 104 with like 98% humidity. Oh. And they're playing.
In like 8 years when it's in like Dubai.
Well, see, Dubai, it's a dry heat. I know that's a catchphrase. but it kind of is a dry heat. It's a little
It's a
bit
big
easier.
difference.
Right.
Big difference.
And Dubai,
Still, when it's 120 degrees.
right,
Yeah.
but it's going to be covered in air conditioned.
Well, you don't know that.
Come on, it's Dubai.
I
Hello.
would hope so.
Yeah. I don't think you could play in that kind of heat safely enough.
No,
yeah,
I don't think
it
you could.
would be bad. But yeah. So USA out.
Oh,
But that's okay because next
Yeah.
week it's Germany versus France, and that always goes awesome. I can't wait for that one. I'm rooting for France, rooting for my French, my famille de français.
As long as they don't give up.
They're not going to give up. Where do you
France is a
think
good
the
team.
resistance comes from? Goalie, you, vive la resistance. Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. Denny's?
No, that's Moons Over Miami. Big difference.
It's mixed up all the time. So let's get on to some games.
Yep.
Shall we?
Kevin Bullware says, "Yeah, screw Belgium. I'm only eating freedom waffles now."
Yeah, freedom fries, freedom waffles.
Yeah, games. I played the latest episode of The Wolf Among Us.
I
Little
was kind of
slow.
disappointed by it.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. But I think that I'm a little disappointed by it because it's the setting up of the dominoes for the final episode.
I was disappointed because the last one ended
Like, awesome.
with such a good dog moment, and this episode just seemed to pull back from everything that made that ending interesting.
Yeah, but at the same time, I like the fact that it is setting up a story-based tension because you know what's coming.
I guess I think it's kind of unnecessary. I
It's
think
it's
Wolf Among Us actually,
it's Bloody Mary. You think that the twisted man or crooked man is going to be the guy that's like the real badass, and you realize it's not him. It's Bloody Mary. That's the showdown.
well, yeah, that's because she's the muscle.
She's the muscle. She's
I-
not just the muscle. She's fucked up.
But I feel like this episode was just repeating itself, and I think Wolf Among Us might have been better if it was only 4 episodes.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I don't know why Telltale always has to have 5 episodes.
Possibly. Yeah, it was kind of I want to say a throwaway episode. Not that it's bad. Even at its worst, it's better than most. But it was a bit of a throwaway episode. And I meant to play Walking Dead, but I can never play Walking Dead because if I play it without Kevin, he'll be pissed off. And I've actually said several times, tonight, can we play this game? Yeah, sure. And the next thing you know, he's like, oh, I can't, I got to put new engines in my drone. It's like, all right. So, I have not played that.
That was a good episode, episode 3.
Yeah? All right,
Mm-hmm.
good. Because I need something a little bit more to carry me over. And, got to catch up because it's been out for a while. I just haven't gotten to it. So that's really the only thing I played except for some Netflix. Oddly enough, I decided I wanted to watch Netflix, but I wanted to watch it on my 360 because of the voice control. And I realized how awesome the voice control really is when I started playing around with it. But when I went to it, for some reason, Netflix is gone off my hard drive. So I have to re-download it. And I'm like, fuck it. I'll just go to PS4. And I watched it on PS4 and it was fine. But I really realized how that the Kinect and Netflix are made for each other as a navigational tool. It's just so nice. So you can just tell Xbox, go Netflix, and it just brings it up. And it's like, Xbox, stop. Xbox, go. Xbox, fast forward. It's just nice. I wish I'd had it back.
Well-implemented voice commands, I think, are kind of the most intuitive interface you could have
Right.
for a piece of technology.
And I recognize that the Xbox One, that's exactly what it does. The Xbox One is meant to be voice controlled. That's why they insisted on having the Kinect connected to it for the early stage of its sales. And I see how that works. But I don't know that it was $100 worth of it. Although that's what I paid extra for this. But at least it was a Christmas present. I don't know. I'm wavering back and forth.
Yeah. Well, I also heard that the One's interface was really bad. And, like, to the point where you kind of needed the voice commands to make sense of it. Because, like, the icons would switch around all the time.
Oh, really? Why would they do... Well, now to self-connect.
It was, like, depending on what you most recently used.
Oh.
And so things would jump around all the time. But what that meant is that...
PlayStation 4 does that. Sort of.
To a degree. But I guess it did it in a more confusing manner.
Do you know that you are not on all the time now on PlayStation?
Yes. Chaos, I think it was Chaos. Someone on PlayStation notified me of that. I don't know if it was an update. I don't know if it's like moving wireless networks. I don't know what caused it. But, hey, it's fixed.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, you're not on 24/7 anymore.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of all I've done, and that and pack and get ready for camping. So, what have you guys played?
I played 2 games, both of which I've come to really, really love. I had like a kind of crazy up and down ride with Transistor for a while. Because I played like an hour or so of it initially. And then I kind of stopped for a week to do other stuff. And then I went back to it. And when I went back to it, it was so hard, it almost felt broken. And so the thing is, every time you level up, you can choose like a function, which is like a new ability for use in like the turn-based combat. But you can also choose a thing called a limiter, which is like a kind of mod that make the enemy stronger, that make the game harder. And in return, you get an experience boost for using them. So these are things like there will be more enemies that spawn, or the enemies will hit harder, or like they'll spawn twice as many these kind of egg things, like when they die. So, you know, things like that. I would turn them on as I got them, because, you know, I wanted the experience boost. Because it's like, well, you want to boost your experience early in the game, obviously, because that's when you most need it. But they just, like, broke the game. Like, it was so hard. And the way the game is set up is you have 4 main functions equipped, like one for each face button on the controller. If your health bar gets down to 0, you lose access to like your highest function, which is like the one that kind of takes up the most energy. So, and then your health bar resets, but you can't use that function. So now you've only got 3. So you can go through this process 4 times before you actually die. But when you lose access to a function, you lose access to it for a rather long time. It continues outside of the battle. So basically, once that battle ends and you're exploring the world, you'll come across these things called access points, which are kind of like checkpoints, save points. And you access them, and you can kind of reconfigure your character, your loadout. And initially, you have to get to 2 of these access points before you will regain access to that function that was lost. So at the very least, you're going to encounter like 1 or 2 other battles where you can't use that function that you've lost. So when you add in some of the limiters that like increase how long it takes to get those functions back, in the early game, you are so poorly equipped to handle these ultra difficult enemies that it just sends you into this downward spiral of, I lose access to a function, I don't get it back fast enough, I lose access to another function, I don't get it back fast enough, and it's just a bitch. And like, I was really furious with the game, because I thought Bastion, the other game by these guys, was so well balanced, and this one was like making me tear my hair out. But then what I ended up doing is taking off a couple of the limiters, a couple of the mods, and going through the game first, beating the game. And then on the New Game Plus, I started to turn on more of these limiters. And that really changed everything because that allowed my character to get to that high level where I was able to better, I was better equipped to handle these difficult enemies, because there are 16 main functions, main abilities, but you can level up past 16. So what happens once you get to like level 17 is you start choosing doubles of these functions. So that, and that's incredibly handy, because that means if I lose access to one of them, I have an extra that I can just equip right back in that slot again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I lost anything. And so once you start leveling up past 16 and you start getting more and more of these doubles, that goes a long way to alleviating the frustration of losing functions. And it's gotten to the point now where I'm so used, like I don't want to say good, because it's not like a skill-based game. It's more like, combat's more like a puzzle. You know, it's more tactical. It's more about knowing how to use these functions together to best kill an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played it so long now, and I know like how these systems work so well. I'm just blowing through these enemies to the point where I feel like, you know, I should turn on all 10 of these limiters, all 10 of these mods, and just make the game as hard as possible, because I'm blowing through New Game Plus like it's easy. And I like that, because it proves to me that the balance of combat in this game is still it's still balanced. Like, even when you spike the difficulty up high, it's still a well-balanced game that you can play. You don't want to spike it high initially, but like it still remains a fun, challenging. The combat makes sense on higher difficulty levels, and that's what I love so much about Bastion. So, like, I started off really loving Transistor, then I just started really hating it, and now I'm kind of climbing my way back up to really loving it. And it helps too that the story is really, really, like, just weird but fascinating and thoughtful in ways that you don't see many in games. Like, this world is so bizarre. Like, it's almost like the world of a computer, but it's real life. Like, imagine if the world was as reprogrammable as a computer. Like, people,
Right.
You get bios of people, and one of them is like this Skyrider, who will basically go and change the color of the sky based on public polls. And it's like, you can just do that. And bridges can just be built, like, instantly almost, if the citizens want it. And it's kind of, the story is really, really great, because it explores, like, what does it mean to live in a world that is always changing, that is completely reprogrammable at will, and like, what kind of society is that? What does that do to people that don't like change? It's a really fascinating story. So my road with Transistor has gone up and down a lot, but it's ending on a real high note.
Oh, good.
Good. Well, I'm very interested in getting Transistor, but I don't want to do it until after I get back home. But the more that you've talked about it, the more I realize how much I know I'm going to like this now, especially knowing that when it gets to the end, it really becomes very worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just don't put on limiters. I don't know if you're the person that does that, but yeah, don't do that.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Then
I
played, it's a game about on Steam sale for really cheap, and it's just one of the most fucking awesome games I've ever played. It's called One Finger Death Punch. And do you remember, like, in the days before YouTube, there were these online videos that were popular called, like, Xiao, like Xiao, Xiao.
No.
And they were these really cool videos that were like stick figures doing martial arts. And it was just like one stick figure.
Oh, yes,
really
the stick figures. Yes, the
smoothly
Xiao
animated.
Xiao. Yes.
Yes. You know what I'm
yes.
talking about.
Yes.
It's a lot like that.
Stick finger death match. I think it was called.
Is that
I can't
what it's
remember.
called?
Yes, I think it was called Stick Figure Deathmatch, and you would have essentially the guy with animations, 2 stick figures, and it would just essentially be like the most graphic, horrible, like kung fu movie of all time, kind of fighting, but it was stick figures, and it was only in red and black, and it was awesome. They were awesome.
Yeah. So it's a lot like that. It's all stick figures. Your guy's in the middle of the screen. It's 2D. And like all the enemies will come in from the left and right. And if they get within range of you, you hit like X or B on a controller, or like you right click or left click on a mouse to attack them. And it's like one hit, one kill. So you've got all these enemies coming in from the side, and you're like sitting there hitting the buttons really fast to punch them before they get to you. Because if they get to you, they hit you. But what's so cool about it is that it has like this slowdown effect, so that when you punch a guy, it kind of stops, and it gives you time to like plan out your next move. Like, okay, I want to hit left twice because there are 2 guys there, and then right. So it never gets really overwhelming, even though you've got all these enemies coming at you pretty fast. And it has this cool dynamic speed where the better you do, the faster the game gets. And the worse you do, like the slower it gets, so it always remains like on this real nice, challenging edge. Mm-hmm. But then it starts throwing in like all these different systems into that mix. Like all you're doing is hitting X and B.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll encounter like these green enemies who take 2 hits. So instead of just killing everything with 1 hit, with them you've got to hit the button twice.
Oh.
Then there are blue enemies that will dodge. So if they're coming in from the right, you have to hit right first, and they'll dodge to the other side of you, and then you hit left. So when you see them, you want to go left, right, or right, left. Mm-hmm. Then there are other enemies, like these boss enemies, where if you hit them, it starts like this kind of mini-game, one-on-one fight between the 2 of you, which is just another combination of like left and right hits.
Right.
And you kill them. And it just kind of increases with these more difficult enemies. Some take 3 hits, some like you have to go 2 on one side, 1 on the other. But it's all color-coded. So it's kind of like a rhythm game it was at some point. Then it adds weapons to the mix. Where, like, enemies will come at you with weapons, and if you kill them, they'll drop the weapon. And if you kind of inch yourself over and you grab onto that weapon, then you'll be able to use it. And, like, things like swords will increase your range so that you can attack enemies from further away. Then you'll get things like a bow and arrow or a dagger that you can throw and count as like 1-hit kills. Mm-hmm. So those are great. Like if you see a 3-level enemy coming at you, use an arrow on him. But then like the best weapon is this like giant metal ball. And what happens is if you attack it, it goes flying off in one direction until it hits an enemy. Then it bounces back to you. And if you hit it, again,
so boomerang.
It'll go flying off. Kind of, but it's not a boomerang. It's a giant metal ball that's literally bouncing around.
Right.
And so if you time everything right, you can just keep that ball bouncing back and forth, killing people. And every now and then, when you attack a guy, it'll zoom in, and you'll get like a stick figure skull crush type of thing, where you'll see his skull crack, or like you'll see his neck snap as you punch him.
Awesome.
Where it'll zoom in, and you'll punch him, and you'll see his eye come flying out at the screen. Or if you have a sword, it'll zoom in really quick, and you'll see him cut like the front of his face off. But it's all stick figures, so you're just seeing a circle get cut.
Which platform is this?
PC.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Oh yeah.
No. This is something I want to play on a console.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking PC games.
Well, let's see. It's by Silver Dollar Games,
right? And it's probably Windows only, and not iOS.
They're one of the developers that made a whole bunch of Xbox indie games.
Okay. All right.
And I'm looking. I can't actually see it on anything else other than Steam.
Okay.
Oh wait. Xbox Marketplace.
What's it called again?
One Finger Death Punch.
Finger Death Punch.
I saw that. I didn't.
There it is. It's on 360
and
indie
it's
games.
50% off. March 3rd. Bummer. It's on Xbox Indie, so it's on Xbox Indie, but not PC.
Well,
I'm sorry,
it is
not
on-
not PlayStation 4.
No, because it's a super indie game. Well, if you're looking for a reason to turn on your 360,
Yeah, that's true. You could do that.
it's so much fun. Like the way, and there are different types of rounds. Like the mob level is the main mode where you just have all these guys coming at you, and you have to kill like 100 of them in order to pass. And it just hits that awesome badass feeling. So like when you start killing guys, you just want to, you're like, come on, bring it on, motherfuckers! I'll kill you all. But then there are survival rounds where it's just last for as long as you can. And then there are these cool light sword rounds, not lightsaber. That would be copyright infringement. Where it's basically like kind of Return of the Jedi-esque, where it's you against a red background, and you're only fighting enemies that are one-hit kills, but you've got like a lightsaber with you. So you're cutting them up every time they come near, but they come really, really fast. It's just such a cool... Like, this is the game that proves simplicity is like really hard to get right, because all you're doing is just hitting these two buttons. But it throws so many systems on top of those two buttons so that it never gets boring and it never gets old and it always stays exciting.
Well, I'll be. I guess I'll pick it up.
I can't recommend it. It's so much fun. One Finger Death.
One Finger Death Punch. It is.
I saw that, but I didn't.
Didn't get it.
Didn't pull the trigger.
If it's especially if it's going to harken back to something I love, like those stick finger kung fu's, stick finger death matches. Oh,
Yeah.
I was so addicted to finding those on the internet
I know
back
they
in the
were
early
awesome.
days. Yep.
I know that was like ancient internet. That was before YouTube.
So was it One Finger Death Match? One Finger
One Finger Death Punch.
Punch. Okay. And I'm looking it up right now. All right. So anything
I'll
else?
put a link to a YouTube video
Okay.
in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, I'll put it in the Spreaker chat too.
Yeah. So,
That's all I've been playing.
all right. Goalie.
Played a bunch of things actually. Let's see. I did some Steam stuff. I didn't go crazy on Steam, but
I have not bought a single thing on Steam
I bought a
this
few
year.
things. You know, my new thing is it's called the exploration / walking simulator category. Mm-hmm. And as stupid as that sounds, it's like the Dear Esther stuff.
Uh-huh.
And Nick, we were talking about that one, Lifeless Planet. I did pick that up.
Yeah.
And whereas you are basically you crash land on Mars and you walk around on the planet and you find different things in the whole bit, and it's I think you can die, and I think I have by falling off a cliff or something, but it's not a fight or anything like that. And so I picked up 3 or 4 of those. They were between $5 and $10 or $12 each. Called walking simulators, exploration stuff. Whereas you're not really dying as you're exploring. And there was one I got that you wash up shore on an island and you're sick and you got to find plants to help cure yourself, and that's like what you do, and then you explore the island. And so that's what I picked up on Steam was some things like that. Unfortunately, my laptop is dying already. I just sent in a ticket to the company. When I hit the button to turn it on, it starts up and then just shuts off.
Huh.
And I hit the button and it starts up and it shuts off. And so then I move it, like I pick it up or I turn it upside down or I put it on a different table, turn it on, and it fires up and I'm fine. So I just send in a ticket to the company and just like, look, every time I turn it on, it takes me 4 or 5 or 6 tries to get this thing to boot up. So there's either something loose or something busted or something overheating or something is just causing this thing to shut down immediately. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much of that I'm going to be playing. I'm going to wait till after the 4th, but then I'll send it in. Yager in the chat room said Gone Home. I was reading some of the reviews on that, and that's one I did not pick up. but that's kind of the theme I was going for, was just the kind of exploration, walking around, getting the story, maybe solve a couple of puzzles type of thing. So that's what I played on Steam, was a few of those. And let me tell you, there's nothing more relaxing. I got the laptop at the bar down here, and I just sit at the bar, shut out all the lights, just have the laptop on, put on the headphones, and just walk around and just check things out. And it's just relaxing. It really is at the end of the night. You're not worried about dying. You're not worried about things killing you or whatever. It's just kind of relaxing. So that's what I did on Steam. On PlayStation 4, I'll get this one out of the way. I did the demo for Blue Estate. Did you guys see that game?
No, what is that?
I guess it's some comic book thing or a superhero. See, I didn't hear.
What's it called again?
I think it's called Blue Estate. Blue Estate. Or The Blue Estate or something like that.
Blue Estate, yeah.
And so...
it's a graphic novel that was turned into a game.
Yeah, so she was looking for something new to play. So she says, well, it's got a demo. Let me download it. So I downloaded it, and I tried it. And it's like 2 or 3 minutes of cutscenes and introducing characters and comic books.
Because it's a graphic novel.
Yeah, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then it's...
Wait, but is it a graphic novel on PlayStation, or is it a
No,
game based
it
on a graphic
looks
novel?
like it's a game.
But then how you play it is you have to aim the controller at the screen like a Wii and shoot the guys.
Yeah, it's a rail shooter.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sitting there, and it's like, so now we got to lean forward and shoot at the screen. And then the targets didn't come up till I hit pause and went back in, and then I could see what I was shooting at. And it just didn't do it for me. I probably played 3 minutes and spent 5 minutes watching it do cutscenes and whatever. It wasn't my type of game. So,
It's on PlayStation 4?
PlayStation 4, yeah.
Yeah, you guys, if you like playing the Wii on your PS4, you'll love this.
Yeah, it's a very classic, according to this article on the sixth axis. Blue Estate brings classic rail shooting to the PS4.
I didn't like it at all.
So you don't like rail shooters?
Yeah, no, I don't like rail shooters. There's very few
That
things.
sounds what I gotta see a video of this.
It says, in a Tarantino, this is out of their own description, a Tarantino-esque noir-style narrative, a clueless private eye stumbles into tense relations between several LA crime organizations. Blue Estate is a high-octane adrenaline mix of violent comedy, tangled alliances, missing identities, desperate heroes, ruthless villains, bad decisions, and maximum firepower.
Yeah, it didn't have any of that.
Yeah, the review from the Sixth Axis says it's all about pointing and using the controller itself rather than the sticks, which is a throwback to traditional light gun gameplay. But the trackpad is also used for gestures, which sounds as though it could work rather well. The game will feature 2 characters, Tony and Clarence, with the former being a mafia type and Clarence being an ex-Navy SEAL. Quite a contrast there.
It just seems weird, like the idea of using the controller has like one of those guns. Because the reason it worked with the Wii is because you're pointing it at the screen.
It feels like a gun.
Like a gun.
Yeah.
Like with the remote, the way it's in your hand. But with the controller, you're holding it. It's very awkward, You're using both hands.
Yeah, it didn't work well for me. I mean, somebody might like it. I particularly didn't like it. I was walking down the stairs, and you got to turn and shoot at this guy and turn and shoot at that guy. It didn't do it for me. It didn't do it whatsoever. I thought the demo just took too long to get going. I was losing patience with the whole thing, and I walked away. I just delete. See you later. And actually, I played a couple games on Steam with demos too. I played one of the Resident Evils, and then I played. Oh man, what was that game that you played over in the Middle East, and you made some really bad decisions? You had to make bad decisions. What was that game you guys played? It wasn't Rage.
Middle East? Oh, Spec Ops?
Spec Ops.
Yes,
Yeah.
all right. It's like, what?
Yeah, you had to make some really tough
That sounds like our entire Middle East foreign policy for the last 20 years.
No, it was a game. And neither one was. You started off in the helicopter.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that.
It was bad on the PC. I tried to play with the controller. It was bad. The frame rate was choppy. I got a decent PC too, a laptop when it turns on. It's good. And it was just choppy. It wasn't smooth. And then also the Resident Evil was terrible. I played downloaded so many demos during the sale, and I'm glad I did because they were just not worth playing, not smooth. So the Blue Estate, big thumbs down for me so far. but it does have a demo, so you can try it out. I picked up one that, Edie, I think you would really like. Valiant Hearts.
You texted me about that, and I did not run to the console. Was this for Steam or on console?
It's on both. It's on both. But I got it for the PlayStation. I think it's $15, and it's a side scroll. And I usually don't like side scrolls.
Yeah, I don't either.
But here's why I think you would like it. Okay, you're a history buff, right?
Darn right.
Yeah, I'm to a point. I am too. You're an information junkie, just like
totally.
myself. Yeah. So what this game does, it's really neat that what was that Wolfenstein did too, is that it has a lot of historical facts in the game. Now, this is a World War I game, and so you start off and it's all cartoon characters, basically side scrolling. It's not that difficult, but it brings up these little factoids, and you can read about like what was actually happening. It says, Jan 14, 1914, blah 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 blah, and you read about like what you're going to do. And that was really kind of neat. And the story's about a German guy that is hauled off to war to fight for the Germans. And so his wife's left behind, I think, with her father. Then her father's hauled off to fight for the other side. So they're fighting against each other, and the poor girl's sitting home with the kid. And the country's being overrun in World War I. And so you take turns following each guy. And I'm not that far into it, but it's a side-scroller game. And you get the little factoids to come up, and they talk about the war, what's going on. And there's things you got to do, like get dynamite and set it, and then run back and blow it up, and throw a rock to knock a ladder down, climb up the ladder, get this. But you have a dog in this game, and the dog's your companion, and it's almost like a Fable type of thing. And you tell the dog to go push levers for you that raise pulleys up and stuff like that. So it's light puzzle games. Along the way, and you have a dog, and a lot of them you got to really think. But the good thing is there's a hint system. Is sometimes you just don't see it, and so you click on the hint, and it like highlights something on the screen. And you're like, oh, never saw that thing in the tree, And so then you throw a rock at this thing in the tree, and then the dog goes and gets it and brings it back. Blah 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 blah. So far, I'm having fun with it. I think you would like it just because it's a puzzle game. It's factual based, and it's supposed to have a really good story. This thing's based on the story, and so I'm right now. The story's kind of developing right now.
All right. I will pick it up as soon as I'm back. That is definitely on the list.
Really fun. My only complaint about the game is sometimes the controls are a little fussy. Let me see.
All right.
A lot of times I had to go to my hint system, and I couldn't figure it out, and it's like. Something lights up. I'm like, I know, I can't do anything with it. Well, if you get just to the right area, you can push it. You know what I mean? It's one of these things where if you're not in the exact right spot, you can't push this item because you only go left and right. So you either push, you pull, or you go over usually. And as I tried pushing, I couldn't push up. There I go. Now I'm pushing it. So it's like, man, why couldn't it just have a little bit bigger of a gray area?
Right.
Push this thing rather than happen to be just in the right spot. So that does get frustrating because it's like I've already tried to push this and okay, yeah. So Valiant Hearts, I'm liking that. That's pretty fun. The commentary is funny because it's the people talking. That's how they talk in the game. You know what I mean? And they have the little bubbles that come out. So if you got to give the guy dynamite, he's dynamite. Dynamite. It's like
It sounds like such a cute war game.
It is. It's really good. And then you get the dog, and the dog helps you out, and you help the dog out, and so I'm liking Valiant Hearts. And then the other one I'm playing, finally, Sniper Elite 3 come out.
Oh.
And first off, let me say that it was $50. Okay, and I ended up trading in a bunch of games, so I ended up getting it for like $5 and change by the time I traded in some of my old Xbox games, so I didn't pay a lot for it. But anyway, it's a $50 game, and can I say that it's brilliant coming out with a game for $50? And it's just a mindset, because you know how us video game people are, that we hem and haw over $1 purchase on an app or a game, over hem and we haw and we bitch about spending $1. When you spend 50 instead of 60, it's just a little mind game with yourself, because now it's like, well, I didn't spend $60. So when you spend $60, you're up there with the big boys. You're up there with Call of Duty. You're up there with Mass Effect. You know what I mean? And you expect a $60 game if you spend $60 because you're up there with the big boys now. You drop it down $10. Your expectations come way down now.
Right.
And the little things in the game that make you mad or might make you upset, they don't bother you nearly as much. And it's only $10. Okay, it's only $10. But it's their way of saying, look, we're not quite a AAA title. But we're good. So Sniper Elite 3 for $50, I am having an absolute blast. I would have paid $60 for this. Do I think it's a AAA title? I do not. There's just a couple little things about it, but it improved so much on Sniper 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just how it plays. I like the missions, how they're laid out. I actually played some co-op with Chaos yesterday. I says he was online playing. So Chaos, can you play some co-op with me just so I can review it a little bit? And so I was the sniper and he was the spotter. And what happens is he's the operative, basically. And he goes down into the valley, and he's got to go and plant a charge or do something. And I'm up in the rocks covering him as the sniper position. Now, this is the same thing that was in Sniper Elite 2. The difference is, in Sniper Elite 2, you were kind of up in a building. You really only could go from one room to the other. You really didn't have a lot of room to move around that I remember. In this one, I was up in the woods, and I actually came down and I met him. Up at a pass somewhere. So you have a lot of movement to cover him with the sniper, and you can actually run down and help him out. But you only have the sniper, and he has the MP40. So it's called Overwatch. As you kind of watch over him as he does his things. And that worked out well. He would spot a guy, and I'd be like, don't move, he's right next to you. Then, boom, I'd pick him off with a sniper gun, And then he'd find a guy's like, no, I got this guy. He'd sneak up behind him and then take him out, And then he would draw attention, and I would move, and I would draw attention, and he would move. And it worked really well. The co-op part of this, it worked out really, really well. And they have another feature. I mean, they have the head-to-head multiplayer, which I probably won't play. But they have another mode called Survival, and that can either be solo or co-op. And it's basically waves of enemies coming at you. And I was playing. There's only 2 maps right now for the solo one that I played, and it was a good-sized map. And you have 30 seconds between rounds to go get ammo and heal up and move around. I played for 37 minutes, and I had a blast. And then it's like, I got to go off and do something. I couldn't play anymore. And I got through 5 rounds by myself. That was so fun. As you can go up into the buildings, you pick guys off, and then when they find you, you go and you put like a landmine or something. So when they come up the stairs, they blow up. And then you run down, you go, and you hide in the next building until things cool down. And you just play cat and mouse with the computer AI. Lot of fun. It really is. So the campaign's fun, the co-op's fun, and the little solo mission I was playing there was fun as well. I'd like to see him come up with some more maps for that. But big thumbs up for Sniper Elite 3. I had a good feeling about this game, and coming in $10 cheaper, it's an even better feeling. It really is. So if you guys get that, we'll play that. If anybody out there listening wants to play, hit me up. I have it on the PS4. I really like this game. Really like it.
That sounds really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a step up from Sniper 2, which I've been playing on the PC because I had it on the 360. Nick, you said it was free on Steam, so I did pick it up. I went back, played it again. It was fun. This one I like better. I'm not that deep into it, but this one it's a lot smoother than
I really liked when I played at PAX, and part of me because I downloaded the second one for free on Steam, and part of me is like, oh, just go play that one. But another part of me is like, I hear so many better things about 3. I might just buy that one.
Yeah.
But you know what you should do? If you have 2 for free, play that. Get an idea on how it plays, because it plays exactly the same as 2. Okay. But 3 is better. So it's almost like going back, and then when you play 3, you'll be like, oh, this is so awesome. Because it's so much better than 2. So I would suggest play a little bit of 2, feel it out, and then play 3. Because if you go back, you're like, that sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely play 2 first if you can, even just a few minutes playing 2, and then go play 3. 3 is real fun. Multiplayer is fun. Co-op's fun, and the campaign is really fun, and it's smooth, and it keeps all the stats too, which is really neat. I was looking at some of the stats. And it said, you've got so many headshots, so many multi-kills, you've killed so many people with, hand grenades. And it's just kind of neat little stats to look at. It tells you how long you played and the whole bit. And it looks nice, too. It's not Tomb Raider gorgeous, but it looks nice. And they have 4 or 5 difficulty levels, which is really fun. I'm just playing on the bottom one, so it's basically no gravity and no wind. So it just wherever the crosshairs are, you pick off the guys. And I would say 75% of the time you get the kill cam, which is really neat. Not all.
That's cool because that seems like that's the thing. That's why you play this game.
Yep, that's their shtick is the kill cam. And what's neat is the controller starts to rumble as the bullet goes towards them. So it's like the build up. Bam! Oh yeah, lung shot. You know. And so the kill cam is really, really fun. And it plays good. It plays like a AAA game. There's a couple little quirks that just drive you nuts about the game from time to time. But one of the best things is the ladders. You hit a button to get on a ladder. That is key. Kelly Brown is going to be so excited if she ever plays this game. She's like me. She's ladder challenged. I can sometimes go up, but when I get down, I just fall and I take damage. I just cannot get on a ladder to get out and save my life. When we were playing Gears of War, we were fighting over who was going to look like the biggest idiot trying to get up a ladder.
Right.
But this, you hit the X button to go up, and you hit the X button to get down, and it's flawless. It's beautiful. Like finally, someone invents a way to get on and off a ladder. It's brilliant. Instead of falling and taking damage, just spinning around and looking at it and trying to figure out how the hell to get on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. But the maps, I'm pretty impressed with some of the maps. How spread out they are. Oh, you can go prone. Going prone is awesome, especially when you're hiding and you're trying to, because there's a little timer. When you take your shot, you got to hide.
Uh-huh.
When the timer runs out, that means they've lost track of you.
Mm-hmm.
It'll say like relocate, so you got to go relocate and do different things. It's done well. It's a stealthy sniper game. It's done very well. And I'm only 15% of the way through it.
Very cool.
So yeah.
Okay, I gotta know though. Have you managed to get a testicle shot?
No, I did in 2. I got the nut shot.
Okay.
I haven't got the teabag yet in 3.
I've heard of those, but I've never actually seen one like in any video.
Eye shots, head shots, lung shots. They've actually I think they've increased the amount of kill cams, because I think before they would just show you. Now they tell you what it was. Was it intestine? Was it leg? Was it lung? Was it heart?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's gross too. You know, you hear the guy go.
Oh my
God. Dying. But a lot of fun, especially the co-op I played with Chaos last night. Yeah, I could see up from the mountains like 10 guys chasing him. It's just like, hang on a sec, I got a phone call. I got 10 guys chasing me. What do you mean you got a phone call? Oh, good times. Yeah, so if you guys pick that up, or anybody listening picks up Sniper Elite 3, I will be playing that. In fact, I'm going to go play with some randoms today if I have to.
Cool.
That's how much I like this game.
All right. So, you want to hit some news?
You hit the news, and I'll put on some underwear.
Oh, God. This is the GameHounds News, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie, Hully Gully, Nick D. Nicola, and our first item is...
Oh, this one's got a rip.
That's not news.
It's news to me. This is my favorite one.
Well, I guess the big news is that Cliff Bleszinski has announced that, or I should say the artist formerly known as Cliffy B, officially announced this week that he is returning to make video games again, because apparently there's only so much call for a diminutive baby-faced dental assistant with a penchant for carrying around chainsaw shotguns. He left, 20 months ago? Almost 2 years ago. Saying, I'm leaving making video games. And then this week announced, yep, I'm coming back. And he said, according to the announcement, we will find out what he's working on and why he's come back, quote, in 7 days. In 7 days.
So this was an announcement. This was a commercial.
It was a commercial. Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on, it's Cliffy B. Cliffy B is a walking commercial. He doesn't know how to be anything but that. So, he did say that he, quote, it's going to be a blast to finally tell the story of what brought me back. So essentially, rather than taking some time off and going on vacation for 2 years, he said he was quitting and then coming back for a new one so that he could make a big announcement about how he's come back to video games for this title. So yeah, but I'm interested to know. Well, he didn't really leave video games. He left Bungie.
He left Epic.
Yeah, Epic. Sorry, Bungie. He left Epic. And he was interviewing, sitting down, having talks with a number of developers, a number of publishers through that time. So it wasn't like he was going to leave video gaming completely. He just was kind of trying to shop himself other places. And now he has come back. And we're going to find out the details he announced that, yesterday? So we got 6 more days. 6 days.
Is that working days?
Business days?
Business days.
Calendar days.
How are we counting this?
How does July 4th work?
Does he count holidays?
Yeah, weekends and holidays. Not counting. Next item, anyone?
Oh, what?
Nick, really?
Nick, help me out.
Okay, yeah, I got some. Okay, so the E3 Game Critics Awards have been handed out, and apparently Evolve and No Man's Sky were kind of the
big winners. And Super Smash Brothers 3D for the handheld. Pretty much they swept the whole thing.
Which is surprising because I would have expected Destiny to get more love.
Yeah.
But Evolve kind of stole a lot of its thunder.
Let's go over the winners. And I'm skipping over a lot of the categories, but just to kind of give you an idea how it ran, it came out. Best of Show, Evolve. Best Original Game, No Man's Sky. Best Console Game, Evolve. Best Action Game, Evolved. Best Sports Game, NHL 15. I put that in there for you. Best Online Multiplayer, Evolve. Best Indie Game, No Man's Sky. And then it got No Man's Sky also got like a special mention for innovation. So pretty much it was the Evolve and No Man's Sky show.
Yeah, and even role-playing games, Dragon Age Inquisition got it over Destiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, hey, you know what? Says good things for Dragon Age. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm very much looking forward to it. Can't wait. Yeah, so I'm surprised because I really, really, really enjoyed the Destiny multiplayer, or the alpha.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. But if these games are better than what that is, that makes me either be very concerned about Destiny. Well, they were probably playing the same thing we were. So it makes me very much more excited for these other games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Very excited for Evolve. And you remember Evolve, Goalie. That was the 4 versus 1.
Absolutely. I got my eye on that. No joke.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the new Left 4 Dead.
It's the new Left 4 Dead.
I hope so.
Yep.
Really looking forward to that one coming out. Is it September, October?
I think September.
Yeah. Let me look. Evolve. Come on, fingers. EVOLV.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
Well, speaking of Destiny, there's an article.
October 21st.
Okay, so end.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, you were saying?
Doug Cruetz, who I guess is an analyst for Cowen and Company, said that he thinks Destiny could be the best-selling game of 24, even more than Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And he bases this on his own company's kind of estimates based on pre-order from Amazon and sort of NPD group and stuff. And apparently Destiny has the highest score based on their predictions.
Huh.
Halo, the Master Chief Collection, is second. Assassin's Creed Unity is third. Then Call of Duty is fourth. And Far Cry 4 is fifth.
Huh.
I find that strange.
Wait, Battlefield wasn't even on there? Battlefield Hardline?
Hardline? No.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. So this is just a consumer analysis of the estimates
yeah,
are.
like this is just an estimate.
So that essentially pulled out of their very educated asses.
Yes, very much. Which I just find weird because I can't see Destiny selling that much.
I don't know. I mean,
He says it's likely to pay off the tune of 10 to 15 million copies sold.
yeah. I don't know. I could go either way. I could see both sides of that. If I hadn't played the alpha and really, really enjoyed it, I would probably just be poo-pooing that right now. But that alpha was really good, even with Peter Dinklage's horrible, horrible voice.
Oh, I did
By the way,
see another-
they're
oh,
going
sorry,
to. He's going to. They've said that he's going to re-record that.
Okay, good. Yeah.
They've already said he's. In fact, it was his. Some of his lines were so bad that they actually. Did you see the T-shirt that they wrote? That they made. That they revealed. I forgot the name. What it said on the front of it. But that wizard came from the moon. They actually released T-shirts, and those T-shirts sold out. And Bungie was like, hey, what are you gonna do when you get slammed like that? Make a T-shirt. And he said it's kind of nice to have people that were as enthusiastic about, that were as enthusiastic about laughing at us as we were about laughing at ourselves. So they definitely turned, that frown upside down. They made the lemonade out of lemons on that one. But they've also said that they're going to have Dinklage re-record that because it was pretty horrible. Mr. Kropotkin is on in the chat room, all the way from the Great Britain. So, I don't know. If it hadn't been as good an alpha, I wouldn't have been as interested in it, and I would definitely be discounting that report.
I'm just finding it weird because, original games, the first of a franchise, don't usually sell that well.
Yeah, but they're pumping the crap out of that game. It's not like everybody doesn't already know about Destiny.
Well, we all do, but what about the people who only buy Call of Duty?
They're here. They've heard about
Destiny
it.
Exists?
They've heard about it.
Them.
They've heard about it. But I think that Destiny is suffering from, especially because of that name. It's not very clear of what it is, and only now has become clear of what it is. Destiny honestly sounds like a Disney game. It's a terrible name, and they're going to suffer from that. So we'll see. What were the other games that they had in order?
It was... Oh, I closed the damn tab. It was Destiny, then it was Halo Chief, the Master Chief Collection, then Assassin's Creed Unity. Which, I guess that...
I can see that. That's about right there because that game is popular, but it's nowhere near versus Halo.
But also, Black Flag really gave that franchise a shot in the arm.
Yes, it did.
Then it was Call of Duty, then Far Cry 4.
Good.
I hope they don't mess up Far Cry 4. Far Cry 3 was...
I don't think you can. Did you see that elephant blow up the truck?
That's what I'm saying. Is that are they gonna get too over the top? Far Cry 3 was the perfect blend. It was the perfect mix.
It's gonna be fine.
See,
it's gonna be fine, Goalie.
Mine, I feel like that's the kind of game that could benefit from some over the topness. Not necessarily
well, that's what I'm hoping.
Goofiness, but in terms of action, the fact that you can drive a little buggy off the side of a mountain, then hop out and pop open your wingsuit. That's the kind of insane, over-the-top action stuff I want to do.
I liked how they did it. You're taking the outpost, climbing the towers, fighting, the natives and the bad guys. Oh,
you nervous Nelly. It's going to be fine. Goalie, that game is going to be exactly the same. You know why? Because that game was so successful.
I didn't like the trailer. I didn't.
Oh, I didn't like the trailer.
Let's just ramp it up. Let's do Far Cry 3.
I'm afraid it's not exactly the same as last time, so it might be different.
New hat on it. That's all I want. Just little hat.
God, Edie, you're such a dick.
Whatever. Speaking of dicks.
Danish porn. Can we finally talk about that?
Speaking of dicks.
Nice segue.
Lindsay Lohan is suing Rockstar Games as of, I guess it was today. She did it this morning. Or maybe it was yesterday. No, this morning. This morning in Manhattan. Filed a claim in a Manhattan court against Rockstar and Take-Two. She says that the character in GTA 5, named, what was it, Lacey something? Who is a vapid, self-absorbed celebrity twit who's running from the paparazzi. She says that that character is based on her.
Just get over yourself. Get over yourself.
She has filed a claim saying that Rockstar used her image and likeness without her permission, and Take-Two and Rockstar have declined to comment on the suit because doing so would probably create a huge hole of dumb that might threaten to suck the world into. So they have not commented, but she has filed a lawsuit.
Yeah, cool.
And actually, if you see, there's a very good thing on Kotaku. They've actually posted the entire mission. I think she's just one mission, and
I think so. Maybe like a series.
Maybe, but they've posted her one of the missions. I think it's probably the mission where Michael meets her and saves her from the paparazzi, and pretty much. It's just you pick her up, you drive away, you get away from the paparazzi, and then you drive her to her house. And then the driver takes the really long route, so you get to hear all the dialogue in the car. And she's pretty much a total airhead that you just want to slap her around. But
she's a cliche, which is funny that like Lindsay Lohan is saying this is based on my life because she's just like a complete
cliche
stereotype of the most vapid airhead, Hollywood actress that you can imagine. And Lindsay Lohan's like, oh yeah, that's totally me.
The only thing in that whole thing that actually even intimated that had anything to do with Lindsay Lohan, other than the fact that she was white and running from the paparazzi, was that she she says, don't hit any of the paparazzi. Don't hit any of them when she's running away from the paps. Don't hit any of them. I don't need any more lawsuits. That's all she said. Of course, a bunch of other stuff that this character says has nothing to do with Lindsay Lohan. Like she says that she's super thin. In fact, her nickname is Emacy, and everybody keeps making sandwiches, jokes about her eating a sandwich, which is definitely not the problem with Lindsay Lohan. So essentially, it's a spurious lawsuit.
What's particularly spurious about it is that even if it were entirely based on her, there still wouldn't be much of a lawsuit because it's clearly a parody.
Mm-hmm. She clearly is. Essentially, we're just doing exactly what she wanted to do. Is that she wanted to get into the news because that's what she does. And she did it.
Yeah.
Oh, Yeager says Edie, she gets fucked over a patio table. Eric,
I
no.
think that's the first mission is you are doing a mission for the paparazzi, and you have to spy on her, and you see her getting fucked over a patio table.
Oh, okay. Eric Cotton says, isn't this old news? No, this is not old news because she just filed it today. She actually filed it.
A long time ago, she complained, oh, they're using my likeness. Right. But now she's actually filed the lawsuit.
Right. Yeah, it's been going on a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, she complained about it a while ago. But
actually, she said that it wasn't that character that she had a problem with. It was the girl in the red bikini in the splash screens, the loading screens.
Really? Because I've seen everyone say that that's based off of Kate Upton.
Right. Well, whatever. But yeah, so she said that she's a lot of people in that game. Whatever.
I like Heartbreak Ridge.
They're me. They're all me.
I like what Heartbreak Ridge said. He said, the bigger issue is that I bet with some digging, Rockstar can find a bunch of idiot white Hollywood sluts that fit the general parameters.
Exactly. And somebody else in the chat room says, I really hope this gets to the deposition stage because I would love to see Rockstar depose Lindsay Lohan. Heartbreak Rich said that, yeah. That would be some good reading, my friends. Seriously, who would not want to curl up in bed with a cup of cocoa and the deposition of Lindsay Lohan by Rockstar? Awesome. So, any other news anybody got? When I say anybody, I mean Nick, because Goalie never does news.
I have some once in a while. It's just been kind of slow this summer here, and I brought.
Yeah, I mean, it's still after E3. It's kind of a slow day.
Yeah, I brought the astronaut suit from PS4 for $5 last week. That was all anybody was talking about. It was when I brought. What do you got, Nick?
Do you have anything? Because I have stuff ready to go.
Okay, yeah, go.
Okay, all right. Because, of course, Nick has news, but it's always at the very last minute. In fact, that's why he doesn't listen to me, because he's looking for news. Do your homework, young man.
I had a collection of
take out the garbage
stories,
and do your
but
homework.
It's not very good.
All right. Murdered Soul Suspect came out just like, I don't even know if it's been a full month. Maybe it was just over a month. Right about a month ago. Right?
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, the game's developer Airtight Games shut its offices with no warning. GeekWire visited the studio's former office on Tuesday and found a locked door and a sign advertising a blowout sale on the equipment inside. So it didn't just shut down. It shut with a capital S down.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah. Anybody want to respond?
That sucks.
I don't know. They're kind of a new
Thanks,
developer.
Goalie.
They didn't make a lot.
They actually had quite a few games. I can't remember. Let me pull it up.
They had 3. They had Quantum Conundrum.
Oh, that's
which
right,
was
Quantum Conundrum.
okay.
Right. And they had obviously Murdered Soul Suspect, and then what's the third one?
Like Soul Fjord, which is like a PSP game.
Right. And they actually had a layoff of 14 people earlier this year. So it wasn't like we didn't know they were in trouble. But then the thing is that when studios shut down, sometimes they don't normally shut down by like all of a sudden nobody hears anything, no announcement, doors are locked, and we're selling everything in the window, which is kind of weird. So I'm imagining that the details of that are going to hit the interwebs over the next couple of weeks.
So, okay, I have a news story.
You found something?
The free games for this month, July.
Oh.
If you go on PS4 now, you can download Towerfall Ascension and Strider.
Oh.
And for Xbox, I'm trying to remember, because I don't have an article in front of me. I know for Xbox One, a game called Max and the Curse of the Brotherhood, I guess, is still going to be free. I guess it was like free last month, and they're just kind of repeating it this month.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure about 360.
Once again, Nick brings...
Guacamelee, which, not very good,
right,
so you can skip that.
Right.
And Halo Spartan Assault for Xbox One, which is the Halo dual joystick shooter, which I heard was kind of okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the other one for 360 is Gotham City Imposters, which is a 6-on-6 first-person shooter game that kind of takes place in Gotham with like a bunch of wannabe criminals. That one's actually pretty fun. It's totally worth free.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a lot going back to the 360 this month. In fact, ended up playing quite a bit of Grand Theft Auto because this month for the PS4 is such a dry spell, at least for the next month or so. In a month to 2 months, the PS4 is going to be awesome. But this month, it's a little dry. So, yeah, new games on the 360 is great because that way especially if I don't have to pay for them. Great. It'll just get me through another couple of weeks. Fine. Good with that. And speaking of the 360, next episode of Walking Dead Season 2, episode, 4 is coming out this month.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I will have 2 of those backed up. No date when this month, but they did say that it's coming out sometime this month. And there's new DLC for Watch Dogs that's out today. It is 3 new missions. $7 if you don't have a season pass already. I will not be buying it because I can't stand Watch Dogs.
No, actually, I'm looking here that that has been delayed.
What? Are you being serious? Because no, okay, no, it's out. Ignore him.
2016.
How can you tell when Goalie's lying? His lips are moving.
Come on, my lips always move.
And Kropotkin actually points up an item that he actually posted to his Facebook page that has to do with a lawsuit over in Britain against EA about some advertising for his for a iOS game. The ASA, which is, I'm assuming, it's called the Advertising Standards Authority, which is the UK's independent regulator for advertising. The UK actually has one of those, and it essentially just makes decisions on whether advertising is misleading or wrong or whatever. And someone complained to them that an ad that EA put out for Dungeon Keeper was misleading because, according to this, I'm just reading from the judgment paper that the ASA put up on their website. The Dungeon Keeper on mobile for free. It says, Dungeon Keeper mobile for free. Dig, devise, dominate. Build the most badass dungeon ever. Raise an army of diabolical minions and lay twisted traps to destroy any opponent foolish enough to set foot in your lair. Master the hand of evil, cast powerful spells, pillage and plunder other players' dungeons, and slap your imps around to make them work harder. A world of wicked fun is right at your fingertips. What are you waiting for, Keeper? Get it for free. A footnote stated wireless fees may apply. The ad also featured a screenshot of the game, which appeared to show a well-developed dungeon and was accompanied by artwork depicting characters in the game. Well, the complainant said that is kind of misleading because in order to actually develop these dungeons to the level of what it's stating in the ad, you pretty much have to pay to get in there, to get the currency that you need. EA fought it, said, hey, you can do it. You just takes a really, really long time. And the assessment by the ASA was that it was upheld. The ASA said that ad cannot run because it is not true. You can't build these dungeons, realistically build these dungeons, unless you actually pay. And it says get it for free. It's saying it's free, but it's really, in essence, not, because you won't be able to get any of these things really unless you spend up until the next Ice Age playing. You won't actually be able to cast powerful spells or build dungeons or do all of these things. So, and I'm wondering, and Kropotkin posted it, and I'm thinking, hey, and he's in our chat room. Yes, that's what I thought. It was Kropotkin that made the complaint. He is the complainant. And
one of those guys?
He's one of those guys.
Always complaining.
What a dick. What an
know.
asshole.
God.
This is why I don't invite him to parties.
I didn't want the blue one. I wanted the red one.
Would you like a cold drink? And he brings a thermometer. Let's see how cold it really is. False advertising. There's only 3 ice cubes in here. I'm just joking. Congratulations, Kropotkin. Well, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that there was a judgment for the complaint. They pretty much said that they do acknowledge that the game could be played by bypassing. We acknowledge the game could be played without bypassing the countdown timers. However, from the information available in the ad, players would expect the gameplay progression and their ability to advance to be unhindered by unexpected and excessive onerous delays, and we therefore considered that the length and frequency of these countdown events was beyond that which would be reasonably expected by the player. We consequently considered it likely that many players would regard the gameplay experience as unexpectedly curtailed, and as a result would need to spend gems in order to achieve the form of gameplay anticipated. So pretty much they said it's false advertising.
Yeah, I'm hearing that Lindsay Lohan complained first. Just saying, sorry, Parker, but that's just what my sources are telling me.
Don't make fun of him. He's my friend.
Got my ears to the ground on this one.
Oh, speaking of don't make fun of him, did you see that thing about Ask Thick? Robin Thicke. Really? You guys didn't hear about this on Twitter? Of course not.
No.
Oh, fucking.
What's Twitter?
The best thing that happened on the internet in the last month, at least. VH1 decided to, in somebody's genius idea, make Robin Thicke available for answering questions live on Twitter using the hashtag AskThick. And I don't know if you know much about Robin Thicke, other than the fact that he made his last hit song was essentially a rape anthem, Blurred Lines. And then, of course, he got busted with his hand up the skirt of a chick at some award ceremony, and his wife left him. And then this new album is called Paula, which is the name of his wife. So it's kind of a little stalkery and not good. They put him available to answer questions on Ask Thick. And it went, as you could probably imagine, horribly, horribly, horribly wrong because people just hijacked the hashtag with questions like, on a scale of R. Kelly to Phil Spector, how do you intend to get her back? Ask Thick, how far across that blurred line do you have to be before it constitutes rape? How often should I delete my internet search history? You strike me as a good person to ask. Ask Thick. Ask Thick, did you really write a rape anthem as a love song for your wife, and are you still wondering why she left you? Some of those are very much more serious. There were also a ton of hilarious ones. Like one of my favorite ones was Ask Thick, how much do you hate mirrors now? Because that's how he got busted with his hand on some other girl's ass. Was there was a mirror behind him, and somebody took the picture, and you can see in the mirror that he's got his hand not just on her ass, up her ass. So
he doesn't use mirrors anymore.
No, he doesn't.
He's banned in.
It was, if you just sat there and looked at the Twitter hashtag AskThick all yesterday, it not only restored your faith in humanity, it was probably the funniest thing I have read on the internet. Total hilarious. Somebody else wrote another one. Now that you've made it commercially viable for a creepily insidious, misogynistic sexual predator, what's next for you?
Oh.
Let's see. And then somebody else wrote everybody's complaining about Robin Thicke getting, Robin Thicke fans are complaining about him getting beat up on Twitter. Well, don't worry about it. It's okay. He really wants it. Just tons of stuff. So yeah, Ask Thick. If you ever want to if you have about an hour to yourself, just Twitter, hashtag Twitter, search that. It's good stuff. What else? Nick?
Hey, what am I reading about this PS4 controller now working wirelessly with PS3?
Yep. The new update will allow your PS4 controller to work with your PS3.
Yeah, because I got one of the listeners there, a friend of mine, saying, "Oh, now you can go get the PS3 and play some of those games because PS Now is still up and running in the ridiculous prices."
Yeah.
PS Now, but
because seriously, what was keeping me back from going back and buying an old console for way too much money was the fact that I had to buy more controllers. That was what's keeping me away from it. Come on, really?
Although,
but is it going to work?
I think
the 3 and the 4 at the same time. That's the thing. Is if I sync it up with the 3, do I get to resync it with the 4 every time I play 4?
You do? No, you don't. No, you don't.
Just plug it in.
Just plug it in. It's not hard. Exactly.
And you know what? That's the best thing they could have done because that PlayStation 3 controller was shit.
Yeah, it was.
See, but like now I gotta see what is on the 3 that I really want to play.
Exactly. I don't think there's a lot on the 3 that's out there.
It's still a couple $100, right? So I gotta spend a couple $100 just to
if you buy it new. Yeah, I could probably pick up a used one, but still, even so.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing.
Last of Us? Oh, but that's coming out for PS4 too.
Right, that's coming out for PS4. I wouldn't pick up Last of Us.
Dark Souls. But you can also get that for 360.
Yeah. Little Big Planet.
Uncharted.
That's true. You could pick up some of the old Uncharted's.
And what was some of the it wasn't Ghost Recon. What was the shooter game that was PS3 only? I can't think of the name of it now.
Resistance?
No, it was an army game.
Mag?
Delta Ops, Spec Ops. I don't know. There was a PlayStation only.
I'm trying. I
don't. Mag?
Mag's the only one that I know.
One I can think of, but
it's one that it was a very, very famous one. I don't know if it was Delta Squadron or something like that. It was a very, very famous one.
Killzone.
No. I have that on the PS4. It didn't come to Xbox. It was PlayStation only. First person military shooter. Very famous one. I can't think of the name. If that was on PS3, maybe.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll figure it out in a minute.
I have a news story that's actually confusing me. So since there's enough people within the chat room who might be able to explain this to me in between you and the two of you here. So BioWare made an announcement yesterday morning.
SOCOM.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I guess you could. SOCOM I played on the PS2 was awesome, and then I just dropped it. It was not that big a deal.
I heard that the most recent one wasn't very good.
Wasn't great. Yeah, the one on PS3 wasn't great. That's why I didn't pick it up. BioWare announced yesterday morning that they've a new character within Dragon Age Inquisition that they say is going to be their first gay male character. And his name is, Dorian. He's gay. Of course, this is from their press release. Dorian is gay. In fact, he is in fact the first fully gay character I've had the opportunity to write. This is David Geiger, the writer for Dragon Age. It added an interesting dimension to his backstory, considering he comes from a place where perfection is the face that every mage puts on, and anything that smacks of deviancy is shameful and meant to be hidden. Dorian's refusal to play along with that facade has been seen as stubborn and pointless by his family, which has contributed to his status as a pariah. Okay, so I guess when I say fully gay, they mean exclusively gay, I'm assuming.
But the elf was like that in the first one, wasn't he?
He wasn't. That's what I was thought, and I'm thinking about it. No, he was kind of bisexual.
Was he?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, of course. Well, you played a male character in Dragon Age, right?
I played both.
Okay, then would you mess around? I should say. Come on, screw up pants. Did you fuck him?
Of course.
Yeah,
yes.
With both characters.
There was an achievement involved with it. Of course, I fucked them. I fucked everybody. What?
And there's your new ringtone.
So Because I remember.
Did you have both of your male and female character fucking? Because my characters were always female, and
No,
me and the elf fucked a lot because he was awesome.
Because I thought that maybe he just wouldn't fuck you.
There we go. In a Twitter, hold on a second. I might have some clarification here. In a Twitter conversation yesterday, Geider clarified that the phrase "fully gay" was not meant as a comment on bisexuality.
That makes even less sense.
Over the years, there have been plenty of heterosexual and bisexual relationship options presented. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic featured a lesbian romance with her character Juhani, though a bug in earlier versions allowed players of either gender to woo her. So many choices, but none of them involved a male party member that would only become involved with a male party character. That's what it is. He is exclusively gay. He does not go both ways. So playing a female character in Dragon Age would exclude him as an option for romance.
I thought that it excluded the elf guy from the first Dragon Age.
No. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, he did not care. He was completely, he was completely bisexual. Had no problem with anything. Because that was the whole thing, is that he was raised in a whorehouse and he was an assassin, professional assassin. So that was one of his ways of getting in, is that he was not exclusively either or. More both.
I guess so, because I just find it weird, because I remember playing Dragon Age 2. I was actually disappointed by the fact that all the characters... Well, maybe it's just because none of them were straight, but like every character was bi.
Right.
Every character you could romance. And it felt like kind of such a cheap thing. It was like, well, this is just like a gameplay concession to people that don't want to play twice.
Right. Yeah,
But
I agree.
I guess maybe that's because there was no straight character, but I could have sworn that there was a gay character.
And one of the things I liked about Dragon Age was the oranges, is that you had... I should stop that because I'm going to say that and make myself say it around people who don't understand the joke and make myself look like an idiot.
Okay, what fruit will Inquisition be?
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll ask Goalie when it comes out.
That's your job.
That's your job. Goalie's gone.
No, you guys are like making fun of me.
No, I'm not making fun of you.
It is.
No, we put in you on assignment. What's the new fruit? Dorian. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I said that. I couldn't. I'm sorry. That was bad. That was totally bad. So anyway, yeah, Dorian. I agree with you. One of the things it was a little disappointing is that it lacked the complexity of human interactions, because in the first one there were definitely straight characters, there were definitely bisexual characters, there were definitely gay characters. So
I guess Mass Effect's the only Bioware game that's had a straight up gay character then.
Well, no, because they were saying that Knights of the Old Republic had a gay woman. Mass Effect had a gay woman, exclusively gay. And then this is the first time they are actually going to have a gay male character, which I think is, hey, awesome.
What? No, in Mass Effect it was the guy that Freddie Prinze Jr. played in Mass Effect 3. The one that people kind of hated at first because he looked like a lunkhead, but he ended up being like one of the better characters.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh, come on. Someone in the chat. Who is that character?
All right, I am looking it up right now. Freddie Prinze. Are you talking about Mass Effect? Because he was in... Oh, he did.
Mass Effect 3 characters. James Vega. No, not James Vega. No. Wait, was it in Vega? No, it wasn't Vega.
Iron Bull in Dragon Age.
Okay, never mind. It was an NPC on your ship. It wasn't a party member.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought. Yeah, it was James Vega, played by Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, but that's not the guy I'm thinking of.
There was no gay male character. There were
Yes, he was a mechanic. He was a mechanic on the lower deck. Kevin Bowler,
right, but he wasn't somebody you could get into a relationship with.
Yeah, he was.
Well, then, if that's the case, then this is all wrong.
He wasn't a party member, though. That's
all right. So the limiting things on this is first, exclusively gay male party member. All right, I'll give you that. So yeah, interesting, and I guess we sorted that out. That's what I intended to do. So anybody have anything else?
Not really.
Because we made a plan that we were supposed to be in the car in 20 minutes, so I don't think that's going to happen. But I do need to go because I need to hit the road, literally, and go camping. So I'll be back next week. You aren't going to be missing me, but if you are catching this after the fact, you will not see this uploading to the Spreaker feed until early next week because I'm getting in the car and going on vacation. So it's good to see you all and talk to you. Anything else from the chat room? Remind everyone to watch and support Evo next week.
Fighting games.
Okay.
Blah.
Yeah, Kevin Bolwer says
you
Mass
and your
Effect had a guy that was
fighting
gay only. He was a mechanic on the lowest deck. Very good. All right, so let's close this out. If I can get the music right. There we go. You have been listening to GameHounds episode, 269.
How could you forget that?
I'm waiting. Let me try that again. Take 2. You have been listening to GameHounds episode 269.
That was the creepiest goddamn laugh.
With Gamer Edie Holy Gully Nikki Nicola. If you ever want to get a hold of us, gamehounds.net is our website. You can email us at gamehounds@gmail.com. You can also leave us a voice or a text message. That number for our voice and text line is...
Send voice or text message 304-800-9889.
And you can also get a hold of us through Facebook. Do sign up for our Facebook page. It is facebook.com/TheGameHounds. And, of course, we are on Spreaker. We record live on Wednesdays starting at 11 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time, every Wednesday. Go to Spreaker.com and become a friend of the show. You can find us at Spreaker.com/GameHounds. And you can join us in the chat room. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat room and all the people that have come and gone that aren't in there right now. Kropotkin, Heartbreak Ridge, Kevin Bolware, Jaeger, who else? AC Race. I'm scrolling back as fast as I can. There's been a number of you. If I missed your name, I'm so sorry. But thank you for joining us in the chat room. Please do join us next week on the chat room. Love to have you become part of the show. In the meantime, have a great 4th of July weekend. Enjoy your Independence Day. Please, everyone, be safe. We'd like you to be able to come back next week, and we will talk to you later. Happy 4th of July, Nick. Happy 4th of July, Dylan.
Okay.
Happy 4th of July.
All right. Bye-bye.